Dawn in Franklin, Tennessee is unlike anywhere else. The sun peeks over the horizon, casting a warm, honey-gold glow across dew-kissed pastures. Rising from this landscape stands a Greek revival mansion, its tall white columns mirrored in the still waters of a quiet lake, while the distant sound of horses drifts on the morning breeze. This isn't just a farm. It's the home of love and music for country power couple Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. Here, chart-topping hits meet Southern heritage, and every porch and pasture tells a story of family, faith, and fame. And to truly understand this remarkable estate, we first need to take a look back at their journey to stardom. Tim McGraw was born in Start, Louisiana, to Betty Ann D'Agostino and Tug McGraw Jr., a relief pitcher for the New York Mets and Philadelphia Phillies. For most of his childhood, Tim believed his stepfather, Horace Smith, was his dad, and even carried the last name Smith. At 11, rummaging through his mother's closet, he found his birth certificate and learned the truth. His biological father was Tug McGraw. His mother arranged a meeting, but for 7 years Tug denied paternity. Only when Tim turned 18 did Tug acknowledge his son, and the two built a close bond that lasted until Tug's death in 2004. Athletics were Tim's first love. He played competitive sports, especially baseball, never realizing his biological father was a pro athlete. He earned a baseball scholarship to Northeastern Louisiana University, now the University of Louisiana at Monroe, and taught himself guitar between practices. When injuries and reality ended his sports path, music became his new playing field. Curb Records scouted him in 1990, signed him, and by 1992 he had his first chart hit with Welcome to the Club from his self-titled debut. That album only made a small dent, but the follow-up, Not a Moment Too Soon, 1994, exploded, becoming the year's best-selling country album. All I Want, 1995, followed with over 2 million copies sold. Over the next 3 decades, McGraw released 16 studio albums, scored 11 consecutive #1 albums, 1 debuts on the Billboard album chart, and sent 25 singles to #1, 1 on the Hot Country Songs or Country Airplay charts. Along the way, he collected 3 Grammys, 14 Academy of Country Music Awards, 11 Country Music Association Awards, 10 American Music Awards, and 3 People's Choice Awards, turning a one-time college pitcher into one of country's most decorated singers. Faith Hill's path began farther east. Born Audrey Faith Perry on September 21, 1967, in Ridgeland, Mississippi, she grew up in a Christian household with adoptive parents Edna and Ted Perry and 2 brothers. As an adult, she found her biological family and discovered another brother, Zachary. Music was always her compass. She first sang publicly at 7, inspired by an Elvis Presley concert in 1976. By 17, she was leading a band at rodeos, blending gospel roots with a big stage presence. After graduating from McLaurin Attendance Center in 1986, she enrolled at Hines Junior College, but left at 19 to chase Nashville. She auditioned to be one of Reba McEntire's backup singers and was rejected, then hustled, selling t-shirts and working at McDonald's before landing as a secretary at a music publishing company. When a co-worker heard her sing and passed the word along, she began demo work, sang backup for songwriter Gary Burr, and was discovered at the Bluebird Cafe by Warner Brothers executive Martha Sharp. Sharp signed her in 1993. Hill's debut, Take Me As I Am, went platinum. It Matters to Me, 1995, went 4 times platinum, and then came Faith, 1998, and Breathe, 1999, which went 6 times and 8 times platinum respectively, propelling her to crossover superstardom. Later albums, Cry, 2002, Fireflies, 2005, the Christmas collection Joy to the World, 2008, and the 2017 duet album The Rest of Our Life with Tim, cemented her as one of the best-selling female artists in country music history. Individually, they were powerhouses. Together, they became country royalty. They married in October 1996 and built a career of duets, tours, and shared milestones. Their Soul to Soul 2 tour in 2006 grossed over $140 million, at the time the highest-grossing country tour ever. And their chemistry on stage made It's Your Love and The Rest of Our Life feel like more than just songs. They were snapshots of a marriage. It's a story that feels uniquely American, from Sunday choirs and rodeo dirt to stadium lights and multi-million-dollar estates. Or, as one fan quipped, from rodeo dirt to stadium lights, a true country fairy tale. And now, with that journey fresh in mind, it's time to open the gates and step onto the property where their personal and professional worlds converge. Tennessee Farm, heart of the South. Drive about 25 miles south of Nashville, and the city's skyline fades into rolling hills and oak-lined backroads. Here in Franklin, Tennessee, a town steeped in Civil War history and the birth of country music, a stone gateway signals that you're entering something special. This was once Hank Williams's land, a patchwork of fields and forest dating back to the 1800s. In 2001, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill quietly began buying up parcels until they had stitched together a private sanctuary of their own, a place where their careers, marriage, and Southern roots could live side by side. At the center of the estate rises the kind of home you only see on postcards of the Old South. Built in 1850, the antebellum mansion reflects pure Greek Revival style. Tall white columns lining the deep porch, high ceilings behind towering windows, and weathered hardwood floors that feel authentic rather than overly polished. This isn't a glossy showpiece built for Instagram. It's a living slice of history. Spread across about 3,330 square feet, it holds 3 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, each space blending 19th century character with 21st century comfort. Inside, the master suite carries that balance beautifully. Classic moldings, antique touches, and soft color palettes whisper of the home's past, while updated fixtures and airy design give it a fresh feel. The windows spill sunlight over every corner and frame endless views of the surrounding pastures. You can almost picture Faith curled up on a window seat, notebook in hand, sketching lyrics while Tim picks out chords just beyond the doorway. Step outside, and the property becomes its own world. Miles of emerald pasture roll gently toward a lake, dotted with stands of trees that glow golden at sunset. A 12-stall stable stands ready for horses, its stalls clean and well-stocked, an equestrian's dream that nods to the couple's love of privacy and open space. Stone fencing runs along the driveway, leading to quiet sitting areas tucked into the landscape, including a broad deck overlooking the fields. From that perch, morning coffee comes with a soundtrack of bird song and distant hoofbeats. Walking the grounds feels like touring a southern Monticello, not a monument to politics, but to love, music, and family. The Greek Revival facade, the sprawling acreage, the mix of grandeur and intimacy all tell the same story. This is more than real estate. It's the heart of Tim and Faith's Southern legacy, a private world where platinum records meet bedtime stories and the strains of country music echo across the hills. But Tennessee isn't their only heaven. Beyond this farm lies another sanctuary, a sun-soaked island where they trade cowboy boots for bare feet and southern fields for turquoise waters. Real estate in the Bahamas. In the heart of the Exumas, a necklace of islands famed for their turquoise water and sugar-white beaches, lies their private retreat, L'Île d'Ange, or Angel Island. Getting there is an experience in itself. The plane descends over endless ribbons of blue and green, and then a private boat whisks you across warm, crystal-clear water to a dock lined with palms and soft breezes. The island rises gently from the sea, crowned by a 6,500-square-foot white stucco mansion perched at its highest point. From a distance, it looks like a Mediterranean daydream dropped into the Caribbean, an Ibizan farmhouse blended with Bahamian soul. The facade is striking but inviting, with a lookout tower that offers sweeping ocean views in every direction. Here, the horizon isn't broken by rooftops or highways, only by the occasional sailboat drifting past. Step inside and the home reveals its secret. It's not one monolithic building, but 8 interconnected pods, each with steeply pitched thatched roofs surrounding a central courtyard garden. This layout creates a sense of both openness and privacy, like a miniature village where each room is its own bungalow, but everything connects through open-air walkways and lush landscaping. The design draws in sea breezes and light, blurring the line between indoors and outdoors. According to listing photos, the rooms soar with high ceilings and large windows that open onto shaded loggias and gardens bursting with tropical color. One pod might be a breezy living area with whitewashed beams and rattan furniture. Another, a serene master suite with floor-to-ceiling glass doors that frame nothing but blue ocean and sky. The courtyard at the center becomes a natural gathering spot, with native plants and a trickling fountain offering a soundtrack softer than any playlist. Everywhere you look, the details whisper luxury without losing warmth. Palm trees sway just beyond the verandas, paths lead down to hidden beaches, and the only traffic noise is the sound of gentle waves lapping against the shore. It's the opposite of their Tennessee farm in every way. Barefoot instead of boots, salt air instead of hayfields, yet it carries the same theme of refuge and connection. This is where they trade stadium lights for starlight, deadlines for tide lines, and stage duets for sunset walks. For fans, it's easy to imagine Tim writing a chorus on the deck as Faith hums along, or the family gathered around a long outdoor table for dinner as the sun dips below the horizon. Angel Island isn't just a vacation home, it's a backdrop for memories, a place where their life together can exhale. And just as their homes reflect different sides of their life, so does what they drive. From classic muscle cars to sleek European coupes, and even a personal plane, Tim and Faith's garage tells its own story. Car collection. At the heart of Tim's love for cars sits a piece of pure Americana, the Oldsmobile 442. This classic muscle car, valued today anywhere from $60,000 to over $100,000 depending on condition, is the kind of machine that makes gearheads nod in respect. Under its long hood lies a throaty V8 that rumbles like Tim's own baritone on stage. Slide into the wide bench seats and you're transported back to a time when chrome trim and analog gauges defined cool. It's a car built for burnouts and boulevard cruises, echoing the days when Tim was just starting out. Raw, loud, and unapologetically American. Aston Martin 5.8 Vantage. Bond elegance on wheels. For date nights and red carpet arrivals, nothing beats the Aston Martin 5.8 Vantage. Priced around $150,000 to $180,000 for recent models, this British coupe blends power and poise like a tuxedo with a hidden holster. Its 4.7-liter V8 delivers over 400 horsepower, while inside you're cocooned in hand-stitched leather and polished aluminum. Press the starter, and instead of a roar, you get a refined growl. A gentleman's rebel. It's the car of choice when Tim and Faith want a touch of James Bond glamour without sacrificing comfort. Back on their Tennessee farm, the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon is the hero. This off-road legend, valued around $60,000 when well-equipped, is built to get muddy. Heavy-duty axles, electronic locking differentials, and 33-inch all-terrain tires make it unstoppable on backwoods trails. The interior isn't about opulence, it's about resilience. Washable surfaces, removable roof panels, and just enough tech to keep you on course. It's the vehicle you picture bouncing over green pastures on an early morning check of the stables, boots on the pedals, and a dog riding shotgun. If the Wrangler is the playmate, the Ford F-150 is the workhorse, the most iconic pickup in America. Starting around $50,000 and easily climbing with options, the F-150 is where durability meets everyday practicality. Plush leather seats and a modern infotainment system make long hauls comfortable. But under the hood, its EcoBoost V6 or available V8 engines pull trailers, haul feed, and handle the heavy lifting that comes with country living. In many ways, it mirrors Tim and Faith's brand. Hard-working roots dressed in top-shelf polish. Of course, some destinations call for more than 4 wheels. Tim holds a private pilot's license, and the couple's Cirrus SR-22 is their ticket to freedom. This single-engine 4-seat aircraft is often called the SUV of the skies for its blend of performance and safety. A new SR-22T runs about $1.3 million, featuring advanced avionics, a plush cabin, and the Cirrus Airframe Parachute System, CAPS. A whole airplane parachute designed to bring everyone safely to Earth in an emergency. For Tim and Faith, it is the perfect way to hop from Tennessee to the Bahamas on their own schedule. No security lines, no crowds, just sky and horizon. Each of these vehicles, together they form a rolling and flying autobiography of a couple who built a life as big as their music. And speaking of big, these rides are just the toys. The real engine behind their lifestyle is the fortune they've built over decades on stage, on tour, and in business. Income and net worth. Together, they've amassed an estimated net worth of over $200 million, a figure that reflects decades of record-breaking albums, sold-out tours, acting roles, brand deals, and smart investments. At the core of their wealth is music. Tim McGraw has sold over 80 million records worldwide across 16 studio albums, 10 of which reached #1 on the Billboard Top Country Albums chart. Each release generates royalties from physical sales, streaming platforms, and lucrative synchronization deals for movies and television shows. Forbes has estimated his annual earnings from music-related activities at around $35 million in recent years, peaking at $38 million in 2015. Faith Hill's catalog is just as impressive. With nearly 50 million albums sold worldwide, 8 studio albums, 4 compilations, she's the voice behind mega hits like This Kiss and Breathe. The latter alone has sold close to 10 million copies globally. Multi-platinum certifications are the rule, not the exception, and each song continues to earn royalties through radio play, licensing, and streaming. Their joint projects, from the 2017 duet album The Rest of Our Life to timeless singles like It's Your Love, add an extra layer of synergy, feeding both of their royalty streams at once. If records are the foundation, touring is the rocket fuel. Their 2006 Soul 2 tour grossed over $140 million, setting a new record as the highest-grossing country tour at the time. Subsequent Soul to Soul tours have continued to sell out stadiums, generating tens of millions of dollars annually. Even Tim's solo outings, like the 2014 Sundown Heaventown tour, have pulled in millions. Faith's solo tours and their earlier Spontaneous Combustion tour were equally massive, proving that their combined draw is as strong as their individual star power. Tim McGraw has also built a credible career on screen, appearing in The Blind Side, Friday Night Lights, Country Strong, and the television series 1883. While exact salaries aren't public, comparable actors on shows like Yellowstone earn between $200,000 and $700,000 per episode, suggesting McGraw's roles have added significantly to his fortune. Faith Hill has appeared in The Stepford Wives, 2004, Dixieland, 2015, and 1883, plus guest spots on Touched by an Angel and as a coach on The Voice. These roles may be smaller, but they diversify her income and visibility. Both stars have turned their public personas into powerful brands. Tim's deals with Bud Light, Jeep, and Coty fragrances, notably his own line of colognes, add millions to his bottom line each year. Faith's partnership with CoverGirl brought her into the beauty world, and she launched her own fragrance line as well. Her stint performing the opening theme for NBC's Sunday Night Football from 2007 to 2012 also paid dividends, blending exposure with earnings. Faith has stepped behind the camera too, producing the talk show Pickler and Ben and dabbling in television production, which has diversified her portfolio. Tim has explored fitness franchising and music production, including producing Joe D. Messina's Bring on the Rain, showing that his business instincts match his musical ones. Together, these ventures form a diversified empire that's more than just music. It's a carefully built machine of art, performance, brand, and business, the financial foundation that supports their homes, their lifestyle, and their ability to choose projects on their own terms. But for Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, wealth isn't just a number, it's a tool, one they've used to fund relief efforts, support education, and give back to communities in need. Philanthropy. In 1999, Faith Hill turned her nationwide tour into a rolling literacy campaign. Inspired by her father's struggles with reading, she launched the Faith Hill Family Learning Support Project, inviting fans to bring children's books to her shows. In exchange, donors were entered into a drawing for a backstage meet and greet, an incentive that helped collect over 35,000 books. Those books were then distributed to hospitals, schools, libraries, and daycare centers in 40 U.S. cities. For Hill, it wasn't just about handing out books. It was about planting seeds of possibility for kids who might otherwise be left behind. When Hurricane Katrina devastated the Gulf Coast in 2005, the couple's philanthropy took on an even more personal dimension. Both have roots in the South, and Tim grew up in Louisiana. Just days after the storm hit, they joined relief groups transporting supplies to Gulfport, Mississippi. They didn't stop at physical aid. They organized benefit concerts to raise funds for displaced families and later donated profits from their New Orleans performance to relief efforts. That same year, they established the Neighbors Keeper Fund, which provides grants to community-based charities for basic humanitarian services during disasters or personal crises. Their giving continued to scale. In June 2010, after record floods killed 22 people and caused $2 billion in damage in Middle Tennessee, Hill and McGraw hosted Nashville Rising, a star-studded benefit concert. By the end of the night, they had raised $2 million for the Middle Tennessee Community Foundation. As with their earlier efforts, they leveraged not only their fame but their relationships in the industry to turn concerts into lifelines for affected communities. In an era when many stars separate their brand from their giving, Tim and Faith have made it part of the same story, using the same stagecraft that fills stadiums to rally support for people in need. It's another dimension of their Southern legacy, a commitment to leave places better than they found them. And just as their public generosity reflects their music, their private lives offer a window into the family behind the fame. Personal life. Tim McGraw and Faith Hill have always placed family at the center of their story. They married on October 6, 1996, in a small ceremony that felt worlds away from the stadium shows they would one day headline. What began as a spark on the Spontaneous Combustion tour, when Faith was the headliner and Tim the support act, turned into a marriage that's lasted nearly 3 decades, rare longevity in the spotlight of country music. Together they've raised 3 daughters: Gracie, born May 5, 1997, Maggie, born August 12, 1998, and Audrey, born December 6, 2001. Each has grown up largely out of the public eye, though glimpses of their talents surface on social media and at occasional public appearances. Tim has spoken often about how fatherhood grounded him, and Faith has called family her true north, the anchor that keeps her centered amid touring, recording, and filming. Faith's path to Tim was not a straight line. She married music publishing executive Daniel Hill in 1988, divorcing in 1994, and later became engaged to producer Scott Hendricks. When that engagement ended, she began a relationship with Tim during the very tour where he opened for her, a classic showmance that turned into a lifelong partnership. Fans still talk about the chemistry they displayed on stage back then, a mix of playful glances and powerhouse harmonies that seemed to foreshadow their future. Despite their combined fame, the couple has managed to cultivate a sense of normalcy. They've often said their Tennessee farm gave their daughters a childhood that felt grounded. Horseback rides, chores, and family dinners instead of Hollywood red carpets. Even their Bahamas retreat is less about flashy parties and more about quiet time together as a family, away from cameras. Thank you for joining us on this tour inside their world. If you enjoyed discovering the homes, the lifestyle, and the untold stories behind these country legends, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next celebrity home adventure.